Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again with another reaction. Today, guys, we're checking out Batwoman Season 1, Episode 4, entitled...
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? Who are you? I keep thinking that. That song. My hope is that I enjoy this episode more than Episode 3. Did you like Episode 3?
It's okay.
It's okay? But the first two you thought were better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because see...
Good.
Some people were commenting on my reaction to Episode 3 saying, I thought this is better than Episode 1 and 2, and they're really enjoying it still. I still overall thought the episode was solid. It was okay, but for me, I wish I liked it as much as Episode 1 and 2. Now, it's kind of crazy saying that because, you know, Episode 3 was the one where they revealed officially Batwoman's outfit. Going from using the what was it, basically the test suit, if you will, and then she moves on from using that test suit or whatever I called it before. I can't remember. It's blanking now in my head. To now the Batwoman suit. But the fight sequence was okay with pre-hush, as I called them. And I just felt like there's other things they could have touched on or focused more on in the episode that I just think they should, especially with Luke Fox. He's hardly doing anything besides always in the Batcave and just saying a bunch of science nonsense and explaining everything of Batman's gadgets to her. They just need to find a better way to handle his character, I think, in the episode, or in the show at least. So I'm hoping I enjoy this episode more, Episode 3, because I want to continue with the show. I want to continue to watch and enjoy it, and continue to react to it and talk about it with you guys. So, I don't know what else to say. I'm pretty excited to see what we do now that we've gotten to the point where we actually have the Batwoman thing, like she's going by Batwoman now, and curious to see where we go from here. So here we go, guys. Episode 4, Season 1 of Batwoman. Let's go. Magpie, right? I think.
Gone through a breakup.
Oh, she's in bed with her already.
Oh, you heard? Yeah, Killer Croc. I kind of like her.
That's emoji.
The Museum of Antiquities is so grateful you're lending us Martha Wayne's necklace. We cannot think of a better showpiece to represent.
Yeah, and you nukes in the yard.
Yeah, he does. They're digging her grave? Wow. You're digging the grave?
Question.
Does her husband know what's in plot 283, Catherine? Shh. Her driver's gone nighty-night. What do you want? To keep this to myself. And in return, you are going to give me something.
Oh my god. Oh my.
I need your help.
Ooh! They gave her voice modulator. That's what I was talking about. They needed to do that.
Why do you have him?
I need to know what Alice is planning.
Suit looks good.
Infected.
I mean, we knew that, but just saying.
I had to restore their confidence in the Bat. And to do that...
Batcave to Batwoman.
Honestly, just came me 2 seconds ago. So.
Three out to be on opposite sides. Birds of a feather should flock together. I'm allergic to feathers.
Okay. Oh. Oops.
I owe someone a lunch.
Someone. A date. Cool. Yeah, no, I'll be here. Not dating anyone, 'cause I love to work. Love to work. This is great.
They gotta do more with him. Come on.
Alice was playing it when she broke into the penthouse the other night.
Alice plays the cello. That's so on-brand.
It's an IED using high standard components.
A sensor with that level of detection is unreleased technology unique to Hamilton Dynamics.
What are you saying?
Step, Mom.
Mom's one of ours?
Holding you to it. I'm 30.
Oh! Okay, that actually makes a little more sense. It was like, who broke in?
It's been years. Looking for it in the streets. Finally found it in an auction and spent $1 million buying her back.
Then why were you giving it to a museum?
I heard the Bat had a run-in with her the other night.
The Bat.
The Bat.
I thought they were calling her Batwoman now.
Yeah.
Is that official? So she's on the case. Why are you? You know why? I don't trust vigilantes.
Okay, even though you are one. You gotta lie, it's okay. Oh! Yeah, you probably shouldn't have touched that.
When you start asking about our location, it gets back to me.
Makes sense.
Who wants to help me send her a message?
I'll do it. I'll do it. Over here, hello.
Sophie thinks I'm the Bat.
Well, duh.
Because I suck at hiding it. How did Bruce make living a double life look so easy?
Definitely not the answer I was expecting.
Let me guess, Batman never posed for selfies.
Wasn't gonna say it. It's climate rigged. If anyone enters, the body heat will raise the room's temperature instead of an explosion.
You may want to lead with that.
Sorry, but
That is uncomfortably cold.
rather cold than dead. Oh, one more thing.
What?
You know you can't breathe, right?
You're kidding me.
I didn't invent kinetic energy. How long can you hold your breath for?
It's dicey after 2 minutes.
I like the lighting of this. It's cool.
Guess it wasn't entirely your fault. You probably think it's some pretty choice words right now, but since you blow up and you say them out loud, probably best to keep them to yourself.
Oh!
Did you just...
Curiouser and curiouser.
Regan's here.
Wait, you invited her to a takedown?
I invited her on a date that just
Wait.
happens to be at the takedown location.
I don't
Good
need
luck.
to tell you that
Batman would have never done that. I know.
Oh dear, oh dear. I shall be too late, said the rabbit, tapping at his watch.
Is that her bag? That's the suit? Probably shouldn't be putting that somewhere where someone can easily find it.
Hey, Regan.
Sophie, figured.
Feathers!
Sorry.
Feathers! Oh, never mind.
I'm so glad you made it. I'm sorry the pearls didn't. What do you mean? Didn't Luke Fox get in touch with you?
Yes, but I was just so relieved when the security guard showed up with him in the nick of time.
Perfect timing. Excuse me.
That's not good.
that is not her necklace. It's a replica. It's the last thing that Magpie printed.
She stuck a bomb in here.
Close, but no cigar. Ooh.
She scoops everything up with her fingernail.
That's a cool shot of her covering the blast.
Mommy, I found a marble.
Put it down, kid. Dang.
Oh!
Wow, it's really you.
Go get her. Damn! I didn't know she actually caught her.
I've seen you before. You're the photographer. And you weren't just taking photos.
Oh!
All I asked for is a little honesty.
She can't tell you what's happening.
Here's why this sucks.
You obviously have a lot going on.
Understatement of the year.
I just hope whatever it is.
You should hear this from me.
I really do not like
Are you gonna tell?
Sweetheart, what's going on?
Yeah, what are you gonna tell her? What are you gonna tell him?
You thought what was the right thing to do?
You and Kate wouldn't stop looking.
Oh! Oh, it was her?
It was up all night.
Oh.
Wasn't going to school. I think that Beth were dead.
They found bones,
Fake. Forgery.
fragments.
Forgery.
From a deer.
A deer?
Not even a human, a deer.
Get away from me.
Good answer. Good response. Now will you believe that she's your daughter?
Chip Jim. He leads me to Alice. I figure out who Mouse is.
Oh, okay.
We were married.
Is that her name?
Thank you.
Thanks.
If I'm going to embrace the bat, then I'm going to have to embrace hiding a part of myself from the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
Living this double life is a sacrifice. But our city is worth it.
There you have it, guys. Batwoman Season 1, Episode 4. What did you think?
That was good.
Good?
Yeah.
Better than the third episode?
Yeah.
I think it definitely was. So, let's talk about Magpie first. So, we had her in Gotham the last season, and she didn't watch Gotham, because Magpie, at least, it was similar in the other show that they had her in. A little bit of a different design. I think both from Gotham and this version, they both look okay. I mean, Magpie's design is a little odd to begin with, so adapting it from comic to live action, it's going to be tricky. I think this episode was a better representation of the double life of Kate and Batwoman, because, well, at least in the last episode, and of course in episode 1 and 2, she wasn't Batwoman yet. She became Batwoman in episode 3, but I like what they did here, where it was like 60% Kate, 40% Batwoman in a sense. And something I really did like is that they did give her a voice modulator. I was mentioning that early on. I don't know if it was episode 1 or 2, but I mentioned how if she's talking in the suit to somebody and someone nearby hears her, you can tell it's Kate. You can just tell. So the voice modulator helps a lot. Now, this brings me to the question, well, why doesn't Supergirl have a modulator? Even though her face is completely shown, just no glasses, but I mean, her voice is exactly the same as Kara, Supergirl. It's the same thing. So,
but I mean, if nobody can notice that it's
the
her
glasses or no glasses, then it completely goes out the window. Completely. It doesn't matter. Now, from what I've been hearing is that people were talking about the timeline of Elseworlds and saying Elseworlds is around episode 3 or 4. It was kind of the assumption. I was waiting for something. The beginning of this episode or the ending referencing something about what happened with Barry and Oliver and Kara, but nothing. So maybe that's episode 5? Because there has to be a time jump. Because I think it's episode 8 of all the shows is the crossover. And so far, they have not said anything about Elseworlds, so we're still a year behind. So we got to do a huge time skip at some point. It's got to happen soon. Maybe it's going to happen in the 7th episode, before the crossover. I don't know, but it's something I've noticed, and they need to get on that. Alice was really good in this episode once again. The actress is great. And seeing her confront, I forget her name, the stepmom, at the gravesite, interesting. Now it all makes sense, because we heard about the skull fragments that were found at that farm or whatever, and they just closed the case, saying we found her. Turns out the stepmom was in it all along. And the reason, yeah, and she was digging the grave up to hide the fact that she did this, and now it ties in because Alice knows. She's like, oh, I'll let him know what you're doing here. And it's like, well, she's digging up the thing here, but now, because she's all behind it. So so that makes sense why in episode 2, it was her that hired those guys to look like the Wonderland gang to attack Kate and Sophie with the knife, because she wants to get rid of everything, because DNA is on that knife. So because eventually he's gonna run it. So I'm surprised that she told him herself. I'm surprised it didn't come out in another way, like where Alice mentions it, or finally just tells him, or he comes to the epiphany, or whatever that word is. It figures it out on his own. His long-lost daughter and Alice are one and the same. I was complaining about it in the last episode. I was complaining in the last episode. And interesting, some of the things I was complaining about, they kind of got rid of it in the next episode. One major complaint I had in episode 3 was that the dad kept saying, she's not my daughter, and I can't believe it. She's getting in my head. No. And now he knows. For sure. I mean, come on. She said, oh yeah, I lied. It was a deer. Poor deer. That poor deer.
It might have already been dead.
I'm not saying that. No, that deer was used as a long-lost dead girl now. Finally found. Poor deer. Rip. But They got rid of that. Officially. Out the door. Also, I was complaining about, it was a little bit in this episode, but not a lot, is Sophie and Kate's history in terms of their relationship. It was brought up a little bit because we have a new interest, Regan? I think it was her name. Now maybe she'll come back, because I was thinking, like, because when Kate had to walk away on the bridge, because she got another text from Luke, I'm like, the way she's looking, she's probably suspicious, and she was definitely suspicious at the end of the episode before she left. Thinking, wait, is she playing a game here? Is she actually a villain too? So, maybe not. Maybe not. Also, they did a little Easter egg. Killer Croc. I don't know if they mentioned Killer Croc in Elseworlds, but Killer Croc is officially in the Arrowverse. Another confirmation. I'm liking these little name drops. What else? I think the action sequence between Batwoman and Magpie was better in this episode than the one with Pre-Hush in the last one. Even though it was more in the dark, I think it kind of needs to be in a little bit. Not to hide exactly, but Batman, and in terms of the other Bat family, they're not going to go fight out in the daytime, per se, unless they don't have a choice. But they fight in the dark. That's the whole point of being Batman, Batwoman, being Nightwing. Like, maybe not so Nightwing, but you get my point. Bat family characters train under Batman, and they learn to fight in the dark. So it kind of makes sense. She has fight sequences in the dark. And her suit looks amazing in the dark. Like, some of the lighting in this episode and some of the shots of the suit were really, really good. So, it's a big plus, because when she first put on the suit, it looked awesome in the third episode. Some shots on the rooftop with Pre-Hush was okay, but I felt that there was definitely better shots here. The director definitely in this episode got some better shots of that suit. And that whole sequence where the pearl necklace, which I don't like that they were going to give the pearl necklace to a museum, when after they had this as a story point, Bruce spent $1 million getting it back. Come on. Why would Kate and Luke just go along with giving it? I mean, I understand it's for a cause or whatever, it's for an event, but they should not have done it. It's very important to Bruce. They should not have even thought of giving it away to a museum. So I'm glad they got it back. But the fact that Magpie actually used a 3D printer, which is more modern now, to 3D print a version of the necklace to get it in the building as a bomb, very smart. And Kate using her cape and all that kind of stuff, blocking and basically covering the blast radius or whatever, and saving that little girl, a nice touch. And then using the grapple hook to pull her Magpie down into the water. That was a huge fall. Probably should have killed her, because she was so high up on that building, she should have fell. It's like, when she fell, she should have died on impact. How high up she was. But whatever. My only real complaint is that once again, Luke is just chilling in the Batcave, and he just rambles some mumbo jumbo about science stuff. And I feel like they gotta give Luke more to do. I mean, he did go into Bruce's office with a stun gun or whatever it is, and Magpie attacked him, but he didn't do much. I feel bad for Luke, because he is a great character in the comics once you get to know more of him, and of course when you get into Batwing and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know how far along, if we'll ever get to Batwing, but I think we should. But they got to give him more to do so that we can get to that point, so it makes sense. Because we can't have this guy just standing in the Batcave all day and then give him a suit and give him a moniker of Batwing. You can't do it. You got to give him more to do to lead up to that point, if you're going to do it. So that's my only real complaint. Give Luke more to do. But overall, pretty solid episode. Pretty good. So, anything else? Did I cover everything?
I think you covered it.
You're just looking at sweets and treats? Yeah, so.
Just for you.
Thanks. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I'm curious to know what you guys thought about this episode. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. I will talk to you guys soon.